All right, ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. So today we're going to be looking at mutts,
Okay.
and more specifically, we're going to be looking at the guard dog, Sparky.
Yeah.
And we've got a whole bunch of different blog posts and articles um, about mutts in general,
Mm-hmm.
and Sparky's journey and how this kind of nameless character became a pretty big symbol for chained dogs and a call for anti-tethering advocacy.
Yeah. It's kind of a fascinating story how how it all started back in 1995.
Yeah.
When he first appeared, he didn't even have a name. He was just guard dog.
Right.
And Patrick McDonnell, the creator of MUTTS,
Yeah.
I think initially kind of envisioned him as maybe a little bit of an antagonist.
Well, interesting.
But something really interesting happened along the way.
It's like he kind of took on a life of his own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Because he's always chained up. He's always got this spiked collar on.
Right.
And he's always just kind of staring up at the moon.
Yeah.
Like that image in itself really says a lot.
It does. And McDonnell's intention shifted as he kind of went deeper into the character.
Yeah.
And he became a representation of a very real issue.
Yeah.
The plight of so many chained dogs that are out there.
And it's interesting how he really kind of captures that feeling of loneliness with Sparky,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning.
Right.
You know, he's always alone. He's always chained up in a yard.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad.
And McDonnell uses those simple panels to convey a very powerful message about loneliness and
Right.
neglect
Totally.
that these dogs experience.
Yeah. And then you have Doozy, who comes along in 2004,
Yeah.
and she starts bringing Sparky treats, blankets, and more importantly, companionship.
Yeah.
It's a very small gesture,
Mm-hmm.
but it really kind of shifts the tone of his story.
And what's really interesting about Doozy is that she represents hope.
Yeah.
You know, not just for Sparky, but kind of for everybody.
Right.
That feels a little bit forgotten about sometimes.
To-
It's just, these small acts of kindness can really make a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. And then if we fast forward to 2023,
Yeah.
McDonald kind of takes us on this emotional roller coaster,
Right.
and we see Sparky's owner abandon him,
Yeah.
leaving him chained up without food or water.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty heartbreaking scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And it really kind of shows just how vulnerable chained dogs really are.
Absolutely. And that they're at the mercy of their owners,
Wow.
who, you're relying on them for those basic needs.
Exactly.
Food, water, and shelter. And when that trust is broken, the consequences are devastating.
Right. And when you think it can't get any worse,
Yeah.
there's this awesome rescue mission
Yeah.
where Mooch, Earl, Doozy, and Ozzy all team up
They come to the rescue.
to save Sparky.
Yeah.
And there's this moment.
When the chain breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Ozzy breaks the chain.
It's a powerful moment.
I know, you can just like feel the weight lifting off of Sparky.
It symbolizes freedom,
Yeah.
breaking free from all of those years
Right.
of confinement and neglect
Yeah.
and isolation.
And of course, the ending is just the best.
The best.
Doozy adopts Sparky, and he finally gets the loving home that he deserves.
It's just pure heartwarming goodness.
It is.
It really is.
And it's nice to see that McDonald's kind of saying, hey,
Yeah.
even after all that hardship,
Right.
there's still a chance for happiness.
Absolutely. A happy ending for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that happy ending isn't just for Sparky.
No.
It's for everyone that's been following this journey
Yeah,
with him.
totally.
Sparky's story, though, isn't just confined to those, comic strip pages.
Right.
And it kind of sparked this real debate
Okay.
about chaining dogs.
Yeah.
And, some animal welfare groups were like, McDonnell keeps Sparky chained
Oh, really?
to kind of raise more awareness.
So they wanted him to stay chained up.
to kind of like shine a light on the issue.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it kind of raises that question about like, should art always have like a happy ending, or,
Right.
does it have a responsibility to kind of reflect the harsh realities?
Yeah. Should we shy away from it just because it makes us feel bad?
Exactly. And McDonnell decided that, freeing Sparky would be a much more powerful message.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a more positive message.
And he didn't stop there. He actually wrote a whole book
Oh, yeah.
called Breaking the Chain, the guard dog story,
Yeah.
that kind of details Sparky's whole journey.
Yeah.
But then he goes on to share real-life stories
Oh.
of dogs that have been rescued
That's awesome.
from chains. So it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
He used Sparky as kind of a platform
Right.
to, amplify the voices of those who can't speak for themselves.
And it's so cool how that story had a very real impact
Yeah.
on anti-tethering legislation.
Mhm.
23 states and D.C.
Wow.
have enacted laws that restrict or completely prohibit tethering
Wow.
because of the awareness that this comic strip brought. It's like a fictional character changing real laws and making a difference in the lives of real dogs.
That's the power of storytelling right there, you
I
know?
know.
You connect with people on an emotional level
Right.
that sometimes like facts and figures can't do.
Yeah.
So,
It puts a face to the issue.
yeah, and it makes it very relatable.
Right.
And, that connection is what drives that real change.
But it's obviously, the fight's not over.
No.
There's still so much work to do.
Yeah, more than half the states in the U.S.
Oh, really?
still lack those comprehensive laws.
Wow.
So what can we as individuals do to kind of like help out? What if somebody, is listening to this
Yeah.
and they see a chained dog in their community?
Yeah. What should they do?
I think the first step is really approaching that situation with empathy
Okay.
and understanding, sometimes people are unaware
Yeah.
of, how harmful it is.
Right. They're just used to seeing it.
Right. They might have those misconceptions that, a chained dog makes a better guard dog.
Oh, yeah. You hear that all the time.
Which just isn't true.
It's not true at all. It's like, why would you chain up your best friend?
Right.
It's sad.
It is. And, it can actually make them more aggressive and fearful.
Really?
Yeah. So instead of kind of getting angry or confrontational,
Right.
just have a friendly conversation.
Okay.
With the owner, you could offer some suggestions like a fence or a dog run
Right.
as a safer alternative.
Yeah. And we could provide them with some resources.
Yeah.
Like information about the negative impacts of chaining or maybe some local animal shelters.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just need that guidance
Right.
and support. They might be open to surrendering the dog to, an organization
Right.
that can provide a more suitable environment.
What if talking to the owner doesn't work?
Yeah.
Or like the dog's in danger?
If the dog's safety is at risk,
Right.
then contacting animal control or a local animal welfare organization is crucial
Okay.
because they have the experience to assess the situation
Right.
and take the appropriate action.
That's where organizations like the Humane Society or Sidewalk Angels
Yeah.
really come in, right?
Yeah, they do incredible work
Yeah.
rescuing, rehabilitating,
Yeah.
rehoming animal.
That need help.
Absolutely. And they're working to educate the public about responsible pet ownership.
Totally.
It's a very multifaceted approach.
Right.
And it takes, the effort of individuals,
Right.
organizations, and lawmakers.
To really make that lasting change.
Exactly.
It's not just about legislation.
Yep.
It's about changing hearts and minds.
Yeah,
Recognizing that these are living beings
exactly.
who deserve compassion and care.
Absolutely.
And not a life, stuck on a chain.
Not at all.
I think what's really inspiring about Sparky's story is that
Yeah.
it shows that even after all that hardship,
Mm-hmm.
a happy ending is possible.
Right.
And I think that's something we all need to hear.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the power of human kindness to create a brighter future.
Sparky's journey, it started as like a simple comic strip, and now it's like resonated with so many people.
Yeah.
He's a symbol of hope and resilience,
Yeah.
the power of compassion.
Mm-hmm.
What stands out to you about Sparky's story?
Well, I think it's interesting how McDonnell uses his story to kind of challenge those assumptions
Yeah.
that we have about chained dogs.
Right. Yeah.
He debunks that myth that chaining makes a dog a better guard dog,
Right.
which isn't true.
Not at all.
And he kind of highlights those, psychological and behavioral impacts that it has.
Right. It's just not good for them.
It's a good reminder that we need to look past, those surface level beliefs
Yeah.
and really educate ourselves about,
The real needs of animals.
Yeah, and every dog, regardless of their breed or their circumstance, deserves, filled with love,
Yeah.
freedom, the opportunity to thrive.
I agree. And Sparky's journey shows us that, even after years of hardship and neglect, there can be a happy ending.
Yeah.
And that's a message that really resonates.
Absolutely.
Not just for animal lovers, but just anyone who's ever faced adversity.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Sparky's story isn't just about animal welfare.
Right.
It's really about the power of storytelling and how it can ignite that social change.
Yeah.
Think about how this simple comic strip with, these lovable characters and this very poignant message
Right.
has sparked these real-world conversations,
Mhm.
inspired legislation,
Yeah.
and improved the lives of so many dogs.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Small narratives can have a really big impact.
And we all have a role to play in shaping those narratives.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we could choose to amplify stories that promote empathy, kindness and justice.
Absolutely.
We can challenge harmful stereotypes and misconceptions,
Right.
and we can use our voices to advocate for change,
Mm.
even if it just starts with a simple conversation.
Yeah.
Or, a small act of kindness, just like Doozy befriending Sparky.
Yeah.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Sparky's world,
Yeah.
what other seemingly insignificant narratives do you think have the potential to spark large-scale change?
Yeah. What stories are you going to choose to amplify or challenge or create?
Right, because remember, even the smallest voice can make a difference.
Absolutely.
That's it for our deep dive into the world of MUTTS guard dog Sparky.
Yeah.
We explored his journey from this lonely captive to a symbol of freedom,
Yeah.
really looking at the power of compassion and just the impact that one fictional character can have on the real world.
Absolutely.
We hope you walk away from this feeling inspired and empowered to make a difference.
Yeah.
Remember, every act of kindness counts.
Absolutely.
So keep those minds curious, those hearts open,
Yeah.
and let's continue to create a world where every creature, great and small,
Yeah.
can live a life filled with love and dignity.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time,
Keep diving deep.
keep diving deep.